Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Kottabos Space Program, where today we are having a look at yet another glorious mod, this time in the form of the KSI Astronaut Complex Overhaul, being made by Oaktree42, and what this beautiful mod adds into the game is, well, what the name says. It's a complete overhaul of the astronaut complex, so that now you have a whole lot more control over how your Kerbals are recruited into your space agency. And quite frankly, this is a feature I've never really thought I needed in the past, but now that I've had so much more control over my recruitment thanks to this plugin, I don't think I can ever play career mode without this again. It's just that good. So to start things off here, I've actually brought us into an unmodded version of KSP so that we can take a real quick look at what the vanilla astronaut complex has to offer, so that we can see just how much this plugin changes things, of course, for the better. So if we just jump right on in, we've got, well, quite frankly, what we've seen for quite a long time now. Our two panes, one of the applicants for people we can recruit, and of course the other pane of our Kerbals we do currently have. And it's, you know, it's a functional system, but it is, or does rather, have a few issues here and there. For instance, on this applicant list, well, we only have one pilot in this whole list right now. What if I want to select multiple pilots? I'd have to hire, then come back in to refresh the list, etc. It's kind of an annoyance. And beyond that, you have absolutely zero control whatsoever over things like your courage and stupidity of your Kerbals. And there are a lot more mods these days that are actually taking courage and stupidity into account. For instance, the modular colonization system, they've got a couple of things in there that, you know, will change different modifiers depending on courage and stupidity. So it's becoming more important to have at least some control over that. And we just don't have that in vanilla. And, well, that's where this KSI Astronaut Complex Overhaul comes into play to fix all of that. So I'll bring you guys back in a sec with a jump cut, and we'll have the new system loaded in. And here we are. Now, rather than having a just random roster of people to select from, we have the Kerbal Science Institute Placement Services, which gives us full control over who it is we want to hire for our next missions. You can choose between male or female, pilot, scientist, or engineer, and of course with lovely descriptions for all of them. So if you somehow forget what a pilot does, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory what a pilot does, but fair enough if you do. And then down here you can adjust for yourself their courage, their stupidity, give them the fearless trait like a good old Jebediah up here, and even select their level, which you'll notice now that it is only at level 0. This is the first thing I need to point out to you on how this whole mod works. The level of Kerbals that you can select is directly related to the level of your astronaut complex. So if we head out of here and go to upgrade this building, there we are. Head back in and you'll see we now can also select level 1. And if we do so, you'll notice down here where the cost for our astronaut will go up. In fact, it doubles. It gets very expensive. The higher the level you want for your Kerbal, it essentially just keep doubling. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. It can get very, very pricey, but completely worth it for a very good, very skilled Kerbal. And the cost here is why I really love this mod, because it's not cheaty. Yes, sure, you can hire right off the bat a completely leveled up Kerbal, but it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of whatever funds you want to call this to actually get them. So it's a good system, and for the funds, how they are adjusted, every option down here changes them. So the level, of course, changes it. Adding the fearless trait changes it. Increasing stupidity lowers the cost. Lowering stupidity lowers the cost. Increasing courage also ups the cost, and lowering courage lowers it. Pilot, scientist, engineer, female, or male, none of these affect the cost in any way, just all of these options down here. And ooh, yes, I also should mention another thing on the levels. Right now, as I said, it is completely related to the building in question, what level this astronaut complex is at, but the mod maker is also hoping to make it so that it also takes into account the level of the Kerbals that you already have on staff. So the better the facilities you have and the better your Kerbals are, the better new recruits you'll be able to get, and I quite like that idea. And also on the funds, and a very important cost thing to point out is that this is directly related and affected by how you select the difficulty for career mode. If you ever go into create a new career mode save and go into custom, you'll see all the different sliders, and one of them is a funds penalty, and that basically determines how much of a penalty you get for failing missions. And that funds penalty will affect the cost here. So the higher your funds penalty is, the more expensive Kerbals are going to be as well. And it isn't implemented yet, but the mod maker is also hoping to add a penalty for dead and missing Kerbals that'll be career specific rather than just increasing the cost for each Kerbal after that, which I quite like the idea of the addition for that. Now, one thing I should point out is that currently all Kerbals generated from this will look identical, so the mod maker is also hoping to add in a appearance randomizer in the future so that you get a little variety with your Kerbals, which would be, yeah, it'd be nice to have a little bit of difference with how your Kerbals look rather than them all looking like clones. But yes, it's quite good, quite lovely. And let's actually make a Kerbal real quick. We'll make him really courageous, but really intelligent. So, yeah, and a nice engineer. And that, so very courageous, not stupid at all, fearless, and level 1, that's going to cost us 100,000 funds to do. And now that I'm also thinking about the stupidity part, when I mentioned it earlier how it affects it, did I have it the wrong way around? But yes, the less stupidity, the less the cost will be. If you increase stupidity... Oh god, no, now I'm mixing it up. More stupid, cheaper. Less stupid, more expensive. There we go. Now I have it correct. I apologize. And yeah, we can just hire that applicant, and there we are. We have Levi Kerbin, who is level 1 and a good overall candidate for our space program. And I just love this. It's, in my mind, what the astronaut complex should have been all along, because it makes sense to me, realistically speaking. You know, a space program wouldn't just look at a big list of people who've thrown their applications at them and go, oh yeah, that guy who's really stupid but somehow a scientist, we'll take him. No, you'd send out into the world what do you need for a specific mission, and then hire the appropriate candidates for it. And so having this control, it makes me happy. So we can create a very stupid, very courageous, fearless pilot to basically rival Jebediah, and surprisingly that's only going to cost us 70,000 because of course he's also very stupid. And there we go, we have Kerbin. Him and Jebediah can get in fights, it'll be lovely, and that is possible because of this beautiful placement services. I absolutely love it. Oh, but before we do go, there is one bug that does need to be fixed. If we go into either the spaceplane hangar or the VAB, and you go to actually crew your mission from here, it doesn't work. It takes you back to the old list. So as long as you pre-plan your mission and get your Kerbals ahead of time from the astronaut complex, you should be fine. But yes, if you go into the VAB or spaceplane hangar, you will have to deal with the old list. But yeah, just make sure to plan things. Make sure to plan things. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this episode today, and if you, of course, would like to download this mod, which I definitely would suggest you go and give it a try, you can look in the video description for the link, as always. And I hope you have enjoyed this episode today, and of course, that you come back for the next. But until then, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one. Now I'm going to go make a super Kerbal. It'll be great and really, really costly. Later, guys.